This method has 3 easy steps that we're going to break down in this video that helped me sell over $1 million last year. And the main point that I want you to take away in this video is that we are buying products online for the low and selling them high on Amazon for a profit as fast as possible. And as a bonus, we'll also go over tips of common mistakes to avoid when doing online arbitrage. Let's get started. Number 1 is you have to be a detective. In order to find winning products, our first step is to find a starting point where we can source these items. This can be a specific website that's having a huge sale going on, a specific category, or a brand that you may have in mind. Next is we will use the Colander method. Imagine you have a colander full of vegetable and our main goal is to only find the carrots. So what we're going to do is we're going to sift through those items and take out the vegetable that we don't want until we only have the carrots that we initially wanted. So this is a useful approach when we are looking products for Amazon, as we're going to filter down only to the good part, and what we want to do is not waste any time on the items or the information that we don't need. And lastly, we got to make sure that if it makes sense, aka if it's a good buy or a bad buy. So once you found a product that you think it might sell, it's always good to double check. It's like the carpenter saying, you want to measure twice and cut once. It's always a good habit to be careful and make sure you're making the good decision before spending your money for that inventory. To do this, you just want to double check the data. So you want to make sure how many times it sells per month, how many competition do you have on the listing, what can you buy it for, how much can you sell it for. So again, it's good to have all this data and information to make sure if it's a good buy or a bad buy. So going in detail here on how to be a detective. Finding a starting point is one of the hardest things when you first start sourcing for items to sell online. And if you are a beginner, it's going to feel like you've been dropped off in a foreign country and you have to make your way back home without either a phone or a map. So how do you find leads for online arbitrage manually? So what we want to look for is we want to find websites that already have huge sales so that way we can take advantage of them. An easy example for this is Black Friday, as there's sales going on left and right. So if you're really stuck and don't know a website that has a sale going on, one thing we can do is to go on Rakuten.com and start our search from there. So we're gonna go to Rakuten.com so I can show you how to do this. So once you're at Rakuten, what you want to do is you want to go through hot deals right here. And once you click on that, it's going to show your coupons, promo codes, and daily deals available on the website. So if you keep on scrolling down here, you can see the top coupons available for Rakuten and retailers. But if you want to scroll down through, you can actually see the categories available. So you have the clothing coupons available here. You got your Nike, you got your Converse, 40% off select style. Electronic coupons, right? So if you're big into electronics, that's a good starting point that if you want to try it out. Health and beauty coupons. You have your Walgreens, iHerb, Kiehl's. It's a beauty product, 30% off any order, so on and so forth. So definitely if you're stuck, utilize Rakuten so you can get your ball rolling to find deals that you can do for online arbitrage. And one huge tip that I want to give to you is that you want to create a separate email address if you are going through all these retailers, because you want to sign up for all of them. So whenever they get an alert or a sale going on, you'll be the first one to find out with a separate email. So that's a huge tip that I didn't learn until after months doing online arbitrage, as I was sending everything to my personal email. So lesson learned, and I hope you utilize that tip for you. And also, you know, we are in the age of AI, so you want to take advantage of the apps and technology softwares available. So the ones that we're going to use today is going to be ASIN, Keepa, and SellerAmp. And these apps are the ones that I already use to run my $1 million business, and as I use them every day. By the way, let me know what you guys think of this video so far. If you have any questions, any comments, or any opinions, would love to know about it. And please, if you haven't subscribed, please consider it. Second one is we're gonna go over the Colander method and how to use it properly. So when I first started, and so does a lot of beginners, what they do in terms of looking for products is they go through items per item per item per item, and it's just not efficient. It takes so much time, and you might get frustrated like I did until I found out and learned how to use the Colander method. And this is what this video is about, using the method, the fast way on how we can find products for online arbitrage. So here's how the Colander method works. So once you have a website that you want to source in the brand, what we want to do is we're going to open up SellerAmp and type in that brand on the search bar. And after that, we're just basically gonna filter out like a colander, the good stuff, so that way we use our time efficiently. So here's an example that we're gonna go through using Kohl's.com. So we are here at Kohl's and just using the backpack as our example. So we're gonna look through what kind of brands or backpacks that are on sale that we can take advantage of. So these are the popular backpacks here in terms of brands. So we have Nike, Adidas, or JanSport. As you know, JanSport, it's a popular backpack, so let's go ahead and give that a try in terms of that. So we had narrowed down to JanSport backpacks, so let's see what they have right here. As you can see, they are on clearance for $25.50, and you do save more with Get 20 code right there that can bring out the buy cost even further. So these are the little advantages that you may stumble upon that can help you get more profit in terms of the products that you're sourcing. All right, so as I mentioned, it's $25.50 plus the 20% right there. We'll go ahead and see if we can find it a listing on Amazon. So as I mentioned, we're gonna use Seller Amp. So let's use the reverse sourcing method. So once you have the Seller Amp right here, it's gonna come up with the Google Chrome extension. You simply press that and it'll do a reverse search of this item. So let's make it bigger here. And here are the filters that you wanna use when doing Seller Amp. So first, you want to avoid anything that has Amazon on the listing. So you're going to see the chart is going to be the orange bar. So that means Amazon is selling on that listing. We do not want to compete with Amazon. Second one is we want to stick to top products, which means only look for 1% sales rank to guarantee that it's going to sell fast. And we're going to use the Seller Amp extension to see the estimates sold per month. So by following those filters, you can see Amazon's on this listing because this is the orange bars that I was referring to. So we're not even going to bother opening this listings as Amazon's in there. The second one is we want to make sure it's 1% in terms of the BSR. So you can see right here in parentheses that it's 1%. So anything above the 1% is we're not even going to bother opening as it's not going to sell fast, okay? So for example, like a lot of these are 1%, so they should fit in the category that we are looking for. So you can see how all of this starting to piece together with the Colander method to save you as much time as possible and to find items as fast as possible at the same time. So now we're gonna look through the different listings here to see which is a match from the original product that we had found on Kohl's.com. So this product right here is the Crosstown backpack on the peach neon. So you can see I don't really see a peach neon there. So let's see if we can add that name in terms of the search there and kind of helps filter it down. So you can see all the peach neon here available. So let's go ahead and open up some of these listings to see if it's a possible match and see if it's a good buy or not. So right off the bat, we have multiple potential listings that can match. And in order to save you more time here, again, this is a skill that you can learn, is you want to make sure you want to see the highest buy box in terms of that. So this one has $44 buy box. So let's go ahead and open that one up first. And if that is not a match, there are multiple ones here as well. And just from the first glance as well, they look pretty similar. All right, so next we want to see if we are making profit for this item that we had sourced after we see if it's a potential match is the buy cost. So as you can see right here, this is ASIN Zen, the extension that we are using. You can also use the Seller Amp. I like to use ASIN Zen as a personal use here, but if you want to just use the Seller Amp, you can certainly do that. So as we mentioned, it's $25.50 minus 20% at checkout with the Get 20 code. So let's do $25.50 minus 20%. So our buy cost comes out to $20.40. Let's go ahead and plug that in. All right, guys, so we're gonna use Seller Amp to plug in the information here. So $20.40. Sale price is $46.47, so it brings you a profit of $18.17 with the 89% ROI. So again, it looks good from overview, but we want to double check to make sure everything else checks out because we don't want to just pull the trigger right off at first view. So here's another example if you want to use the Rakuten method here in terms of taking advantage of the sale. We're going to press and try Kiehl's right here with the fall 30 code. So let's go ahead and copy and shop over there. And just like what we did at Kohl's, we're going to go to Seller Amp here and type in the brand Kiehl's, and we're going to filter out just like what we did previously. So we type in Kiehl's here, and again, we want to avoid anything that has Amazon. So like this one here has orange bar. We're not even going to bother opening that. And they're all 1% so far. It looks good with the 1%. I might be doing this fast just because I've put in a lot of time doing this over and over. So again, it's a skill that you can learn. But again, I'm just avoiding these has Amazon in it, top 1%. And one tip Also, while we're doing this, is you want to avoid listing that has a lot of offers. Like this one's 89. So with that experience that I can share with you is the more sellers it is, the chances are it's gonna have a lower price because people are just gonna compete with each other trying to get sales. So what they do is they lower the price. So you want to find a happy medium. You don't want to sell on a listing where there's a few sellers. You want to make sure just not too much, you know. Another thing you can look for in terms of the chart here is you want to find a chart that's flat as possible or something that's going up. You don't want to pick a chart that's trending downwards. So this chart right here, it looks pretty decent in terms of how flat it can be. There's only 22 offers that you're competing with. So this can be a potential product here. Let's go ahead and open it up. And we're only gonna look for this item here. So instead of going one by one on these items, see which one you can sell, we're doing the opposite, reverse search, and we're gonna look for this product, copy and paste, and type it on Kiehl's website right here. That is not the product. Let's see what it is. Facial cream. Let's do facial cream. So this is sunscreen, so you can see right there. Bam. Okay, how much selling for? $42. All right, now let's look at the ounces. Is it this one here? Let's go to the product. This is 1.7 ounce. Is this with a sale going on $28.50? Let's see if this product will $28.50. All right, $28.50 at this price is not making money. Our profit's only going to be $2.84. 9.96, okay? So you can see the Keepa here right off the bat. No bueno. 1.17, 4.2. This is the 4.2. How much is 4.2? $50.25. That's not gonna be enough room as that one is for 66. Let's go ahead and try a different listing. Let's try this one here, the gel cream. Copy and paste the gel cream there. The size is 4.2 ounces. 4.2 ounces goes for $50.25. Not making money there. So yeah, the idea is to go through the listings that would kind of fit the filter here until you find one that you can make money on. So basically on what we did there is you're gonna rinse and repeat on find the different listings here as they fit the filters that we are looking for, then until you find a product that you are satisfied with the ROI or the profit that it's making. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy for this part, but this is the fastest way that you can find the products instead of going it one by one. So we're gonna do the analyze and to see if it makes sense, if this is a good buy or not. So we'll go back to our JanSport example here that we had found for $20.40, sale price of $46.47. So you can see it right here on the buy box. Estimated sales per month is 370 pieces. Again, this is very important because when you are looking at a product that has different variation, the estimated sales will show for the whole amount. It's not for the specific color here. So that's something you need to keep in mind when you are analyzing data that has different variations. So a good example would be shoes or beauty products that have different sizes in terms of their volume. So just keep an eye and double check for those, as this estimated sales is not for the whole listing. So don't get too excited first. That's why we need to double check everything. The second software or app that we need is Keepa. Keepa is your cheat sheet that's going to show you all the history that you may need to see what's going on with this product. So it's a new listing here. So you can see at the bottom, it says 32 days so far it's been listed, and it was originally priced at $58.99. So this is what Keepa does, is you can see the history, and it recently dropped to this price here at $46.47. That's fine because we are still making a pretty good ROI in terms of this item here. Obviously, we would have made more money if it was still $58.99. And you can see the competition here, how many they have in stock. So this person has $46.47. You could price it at $58.99, which I would do in the same case, because by the time we buy this product, it checks into Amazon. That could be, 2-3 weeks. So chances are that person here that has one stock here, it's going to sell out and it's back to $58.99, which we're just going to make more money, which is a good thing. So here are the bonus tips on common mistakes to avoid when doing online arbitrage. So the first one is you want to make sure that you are ungated on the brand or the product that you are looking to sell before you spend a lot of time. So here's an example with the Apple product that we had found. So as you can see in this example here, we're looking at Apple AirPods. If you are an ASIN Zen, it's going to show that you are not eligible to sell this product on Amazon. It will also say if you're in SellerAmp under eligible right here, it will say yes if you are ungated. So if you haven't watched my video on how to ungate the item, you can check it out on my video library. So that's a very important piece that you want to make sure you are ungated before you start sourcing and spending all this time as well. And these two softwares, ASIN Zen and SellerAmp, helps you with that as they both sync to your Amazon Seller Central account. Another common mistake when doing online arbitrage is paying attention to the sales rank. I had made this mistake when I first started selling books. I had sourced a lot of books that were in the millions, even though it's making me a lot of money. The problem with that is if the ranking is really high, it doesn't matter how much profit you have, it's gonna sit there for a little bit, or worst case scenario, it might not even sell at all. So what you wanna do is you always wanna pay attention to the sales rank. It's very important to do that, especially when you start to scale, as you may sacrifice some of the profit margin or the ROI. In exchange, you'll be able to do volume, which can really help you grow your Amazon business at that point. Another tip is not looking for the worst case scenario, aka the break-even point when analyzing products. You want to make sure when you're looking at the Keepa graph history that the worst case scenario is that you are not losing money. You want to make sure you break even, as you can use that money to just sell the item, get your money back to buy even potentially better inventory. So that's the game of Amazon there. You want to cycle your money as fast as possible, and worst case scenario is to break even or maybe just lose a little bit. You want to lose a lot of money, so that's why it's important to really pay attention to the Keepa chart itself. And if you guys want to learn an easy method how to find wholesale brands, check this video out right here. Thank you so much. Talk to you later.